Hey y'all, Michelle from Lamont Crafts here. We are continuing with our 30-day burnout recovery challenge here. As a quick note, this challenge is going to be excellent for anyone who has been suffering from burnout and actually wants to start implementing things in their schedule, their busy schedule that actually work. This challenge is not meant to be like a 47-step ritual and you got to do all of these things per day. That's not what this is. We know that you have limited time, but we know that the effects of burnout are real. So these are simple things that you can already fit into your schedule to help you recover from burnout, taking small steps each day. Remember, progress over perfection. Second, this is going to be intended for anyone who has been experiencing burnout and who's tried the affirmations and who's tried the planners and this and that. And you're still like, I can't, it's not working. Here's why. Burnout is not just a mindset thing. Burnout actually has real physical effects in the body. So our whole thing here at Lamont Crafts, the Burnout Botanica, is understanding that burnout lives in the mind and the body. So if you're truly going to recover from burnout, you have to address what is happening in the body. My signature REST method is the basis of this entire burnout challenge. So REST is an acronym, and it stands for regulate the body. That's the R. We have to do that first. So address what's happening in the body. After we've done that, then we ease the environment. Okay. Now we've addressed what's happening in the body. Let's now start changing our environment through small intentional steps. The third S stands for sustain with simplicity. Okay. So the key to recovering burnout is not to go in and do, for some people, it works to do these big overhauls in your life. And usually I find that when a person does those big overhauls in their life where they completely eliminate systems and kind of overdo everything in like a week or two or a couple of days, it is because they are already at a make or break point. So if you are kind of not at that point to where you can kind of fireball everything, then you want to do small, simple steps that are going to build up to you recovering from burnout. And that's the S, sustain with simplicity. And then T, trust the reconnection. Once you've addressed what's happening within you, now we can start kind of building reconnection with other people and building reconnection with the things that are important in our lives. Because one of the effects of burnout is you do start to kind of be very apathetic towards a lot of things that you do care about, but you just don't have it in you to give right now. So we start addressing that and rebuilding those connections with families and friends, but doing it in a way that honors you with boundaries. Okay. So that's my REST method that we'll be addressing, but that is kind of weaved in throughout this entire 30-day challenge. So with that said, let's go ahead and start with day 8 of this challenge. So today is July 8th. Day 8 actually begins with talking about muscle fatigue, muscle soreness, and burnout. So as I said before, burnout does not just live in the body. It actually lives in your chest and your jaws and your neck and your back. That's right. We're talking about that muscle soreness. It turns out that chronic muscle fatigue or chronic muscle soreness is actually your body trying to hold everything together. It's in the way that you tense up when you walk into a room, or you tense up when you know you're going into a stressful situation. It's you clenching your jaw and kind of like clenching your abs. All that stuff over time builds up to a chronic situation. In fact, research actually shows that chronic stress actually triggers and causes our muscle fascia to actually tense up, okay? And then over time, that actually reduces our physical ability, increasing the pain and fatigue that are associated with chronic stress and burnout. So today's focus is on gentle release, okay? You don't need an hour-long yoga session. You just need intentional movement. Intentional movement to remind your body that it's safe and it's okay to kind of ease back into this. So if you're new here, the way that we do these is I always start with a brief intro. Then we move into the journaling prompt for the day. I recommend you do that in the morning when you first see this, or whenever you first see it. We talk about a real life reset. That is a small action to take throughout the day, at some point throughout the day. It's intended to be a small thing. I talk a little bit about some herbs and aromatherapy tips that you can use to support you. And then we end with an evening reflection that you can, after you finish the day, journal about this at night before you snuggle into bed. All right. So let's start with our journal prompt for today. Where does your body hold stress is our journal prompt for today. Where does that tension, where in your body are you feeling that tension? And what is that tension trying to protect you from? So think about, like, if you're feeling in your stomach, is it because you're clenching up like your stomach area, right? If you feel it like in your neck, is it because you're like holding your body really, really erect? When does it happen? What patterns do you notice that around? What is your body responding to? Here's our real life reset for today. Do a 10-minute stretch. Okay, it doesn't have to be like this hour-long yoga session, but just do a 10-minute stretch where you are focusing on the neck, the shoulders, and the hips. Add breath and be intentional about it. It doesn't have to be quick. Be slow and intentional, right? So maybe you kind of want to stretch this way. Stretch your neck this way, right? You'll find in any workout book, you'll find lots of examples. So it's not a full workout session. It's just a stretch, right? That's your real life reset for today. In terms of an herbal or aromatherapy tip, I actually want to talk to you guys about one of my products. And this one is actually a bestseller, but it is one that works. Like when you're doing this stretch or you find you notice your body tensing up, this is where a joint and muscle salve is going to be excellent. I actually bake one. It's called Deep Men Joint and Muscle Salve, and it's the only orange product that I make. But I make it in two strengths. You have regular strength and you have extra strength. This is all natural. It is only infused with herbs, but it's infused with powerful anti-inflammatory herbs. So it is infused with pau d'arco, white willow, feverfew, as peppermint, and has some essential oils in there too to actually help combat what's happening. This actually acts like an herbal icy hot. And so what that means is when you put it on, if you put it on the regular strength, you'll notice a cooling sensation first, which is the menthol really getting in there and kind of working those muscles. If you do the extra strength, you'll notice the warming sensation first. So where does that warming sensation come from? Well, it's actually where this orange color comes from too. There is no turmeric in here. I don't work with turmeric because turmeric tends to stain. However, what I do put in here is cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is great for sore muscles. So if you, this salve here is a bestseller. I always sell out of this. You just kind of reach in there. You don't need a lot, just a little bit like that. And rub it onto the area where you are experiencing pain. This thing works beautifully for headaches, migraines, sore muscles. It works for arthritis, pre-arthritis. It actually works for period cramps too. So think anywhere you have pain, it's going to be great for that. So last but not least, here's our evening reflection for today. So after you've done all of these things today, in giving your body intentional movement, you've done a short stretch session, ask yourself at night, what part of my body softened when I gave it attention? What part of my body did I notice kind of eased up a little bit when I did my stretch, when I put on my joint and muscle salve? What part of my body released that tension? All right, guys, this is Michelle with your day 8. Comment below if you're enjoying these. You can also put your response to your evening reflection below. I do read all the comments and I respond to them. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.